All right, welcome back to the channel. Another update on the charger. It's been really busy lately. I counted at one point, we literally had 5 guys working on it at the same time. So I'll walk you through where we're at, where we're going on our road to SEMA. So we've got all the stuff that's basically been prefab that you've seen in other videos is been getting Cerakoted, painted, etc. to be put together. So like we're literally painting parts during the day. Those parts are dry maybe in the morning, and then they're getting bolted on. So it's strategically lining up everything to get it all done while the guys are out here assembling. It's really fun to see how all this stuff's coming together. I love the way this Cerakote looks on the coolers against everything else being black. It's really nice being able to pre-assemble a lot of this stuff. The way this was built, because the car was a unibody and we cut all of that out, this is the structure that holds the core support and the fender. We also use that as like a mount essentially to run all the wiring on this side and a bunch of the plumbing on that side, which allowed us to mount it independently from the fenders. So we're spending very little time working over the fenders, around them, etc. We're actually gonna get it running like this because we have all the plumbing secured and all the wiring, which is really great. I'm excited to see how all these different colors are coming together and just to hear it run. Yeah, it's great. Everything now is like bolted on, check it off our checklist. Bolted on, tighten, done. Leak check, done, 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 done. So it gets pretty rewarding very quickly. All this wild PWR coolers that they built for us. This is the engine oil cooler, radiator, condenser, and the supercharger cooler. Engine oil cooler is, well, the shroud's not on there right now, but this is kind of a cool piece. It just got Cerakoted today. And what we did with this is we had send, cut, send. Derek drew this up, send, cut, send, laser cut it out for us. Is we made these louvers so that we could bend them. Depending on how this car is driven and just depending on how some of the road testing goes, we could actually open up more of the louvers if we want more engine oil cooling. One thing we have to be cautious with, because this cooler is so efficient and probably on the bigger side, is we don't want to overcool the engine oil because it'll actually put the engine into limp mode. So we just bent the first couple. Now we can reach up in there down the road, open up more. So it's just kind of a trick little way to do that. This goes right on the back side. Also acts as like a stone guard to protect it from the tire, because these 2 outer coolers vent directly into the fender wells and avoid the heat going into the engine bay. So that turned out pretty cool. You can also see we've started to use some of the bronze accent. It's on the supercharger now. We're going to use some of it on the coil covers as well. Those coil covers come, kind of up to here, so it should tie all that in nicely. It's really fun to see the firewall. That plan was made literally years ago to have this bead detail in it, and then I just kind of on the fly made the decision to break the colors here. I knew that the engine bay was going to be flat for a while, but it just kind of turned into a natural point to make that transition from gloss to a more of a matte finish. I think it's going to look great when the cowl's all polished. Kind of look like the clear is just pouring over the edge, and then we'll carry that line and that break in the clear into the inner fender as it wraps around. So there'll be one continuous line that goes all the way, which I believe will tie it all in really nicely, make it look cohesive like it was meant to be that way. The whole chassis is assembled. Brian put the brakes together today. Matt's been running wires. This is all the Hydro Boost stuff. You can see our line clamps just everywhere on this thing. They've really shined and helped tremendously with this project. It's got a massive amount of plumbing. A lot of the stuff that's on here too, unfortunately, has had to like cross sides. So, we have basically the air conditioning compressor over here that needs to cross to get over to there. So like, do we go in the dash and over? Do we go across and over? The engine oil cooler compared to the supercharger, we decided to put the supercharger cooler on this side because we had a little more space, because the air intake tube passes through here. So that means the engine oil cooler went there, and so on. So there's just some crossing, lots of plumbing that needed to get organized. We did some of our stackable clamps down here on this frame cross member. Those worked out really well. We did a whole bunch more of them across here for supercharger coolant and air conditioning. This is all tucked up in there, but just nice to be able to bundle these in a kind of a square shape like that. Nice tight way. This is the supercharger coolant reservoir. It's tucked up in here for the height of it. We decided to run a pressurized system and put the fill cap actually right off the back of the supercharger, which is kind of the highest point. And to check the level of this, you open the door and look through the door jamb, and you can see this little sight tube. So that's where you'll check the level, which is actually be really convenient. You don't even have to open anything up. You can just take a look at it when the pump is running. Tony Miller at Stitches Upholstery is doing the upholstery for us. Did a really nice job on these seats. So these are a Recaro seat that he completely custom wrapped. So he did these carbon fiber inserts, kind of a bronzy tan stitching on them with all leather. It's just incredible workmanship, attention to detail. I mean, like, look at literally, so this design is kind of reminiscent of what this car was originally. That's where some of that style that Tavis pulled it from. But like, he's got this one line going across, and then there's like this little triangle right there, like just to keep it, you know, that kind of stuff really stands out. He's a real craftsman, and this is our first car working with him, so it's been fun to go through that process. He's doing a nice job so far. The dash is also totally done. So we painted it flat body color, and then Tony put the leather on the bottom and the top as well. You can almost, like, it's so smooth on you there, you can barely even see that it's there. It's almost just like a different texture. So the whole top is leather as well, which I like to do. The tops of the dashes, you really need to do them in like a semi-gloss matte finish or wrap them, because you don't get a glare in your face. So that works really well. Connor Cerakoted all the billets stuff that we made for this dash. So really get that bolted on. The whole dash is basically scratch built. Everything from here down was all custom made, custom vents. I mean, it's just on and on. So it's fun to see all that going. The whole Holley digital dash is really cool. Dakota Digital's got their digital controls for the air conditioning, so it's pretty modern looking, and then some stuff goes in the console. And Jason Kilmer has been doing the cut and buff for us, so that's why the body looks kind of flat and sanded on right now. That's a really important process in finishing a paint job. He goes through and cuts out all the orange peel, any little bits of dust or imperfections, and sands them with 600 grit, and works his way all the way up to like 2500, and then polishes it. So it's a very labor intensive process, and it's also, you have to be very careful, because if you sand too far, you can go through the clear coat. We put extra clear coat on there, and it takes a trained hand to know. There's no gauge. It's just a careful blocking of knowing how far you can go and when to stop and when to polish and so on. So it's an art all in itself. It's pretty cool to see. And what he does at the start, because this clear is really high solids is what it's called, which means as it dries, it leaves a high film build on the surface, which is what we want. But that also means that it takes a long time to dry. A trick that we can do to help expedite the drying process a little bit, is to cut it open. So he'll basically go around and just get it all sanded, maybe not totally sanded flat, but that opens up that top layer and allows it to dry faster. So combo of cutting it open and putting it outside in the sun helps to expedite the drying process a little bit. It still takes 2 weeks, really 2 or 3 weeks before you can polish it. If you polish it too early, it can kind of haze out a little bit, and the clear coat will move a little bit more as it dries. So it's a balancing act of staying on schedule, getting it polished, timing stuff. But he did get one of the doors polished today, which is pretty awesome to see. It's kind of tucked up in here, but you can get the idea. So he's got to go through and sand. You know, if you look through all this stuff, there's no orange peel left. All these little scallops are really tricky to get. You got to sand all of this out and then polish it. So it's a delicate process. Jason's probably got 50 different sanding blocks and stuff that he uses. There's an incredible amount of hours that it takes to get a panel looking like this, get a surface looking like this. And not only does this surface have to look good as it sits, it also has to fit everything else around it. So as it goes on, it has to look like it fits in the right spot. So it's a process, and I look forward to seeing it all together. And it's good to see all the hard work pay off a little bit. This one's sanded, so you can kind of see the difference. He actually puts a little bit of guide coat on this too, which is kind of like chalk. You put it on the surface, which is what the white that you see here, and then you sand on that. And what happens is the chalk stays in the low spots or the scratches as you're sanding, so you can it starts to highlight those areas, and then you can work those areas more and so on. So it's just a tool to make sure you get all the scratches out and all the orange peel, etc. So hopefully tomorrow this one will be polished and we can actually get them back on the car and get the glass in. So Matt started to fit some of the glass today, or install some of the glass today on the quarters. Another thing that I was really excited about, because I spent a lot of time working on this, was getting the whole pedal assembly and all that stuff final assembled. So you would have seen in a previous video, I believe I kind of talked about that, but these pedals all run levers rods that go through the frame, come all the way back to the clutch master and brake, hydro boost, brake master, everything. So this is all under the seat. And then the reservoirs get fed from up the firewall, which will be kind of behind the inner fender. So it's totally hidden. And this gives it kind of a racy underfloor pedal feel to it. I also had the idea, and hopefully, I'm sure Tony can pull it off. Hopefully he's down to do it, is actually wrapping the pedals in leather like they're shift boots. I've never seen it done that way, but if we match this same boot to like make this little boot here and a little boot here, I think it just looked trick. Check the future videos for how that turned out. It's like, and Tony said no. Damn it. It's good. Good. Little stuff every day. It's been pretty smooth. We've never actually pre-wired and pre-plumbed a car this far, but to see how little time we have to spend around the car after paint is really nice. And it's really nice, especially with this car having such a tight deadline, knowing that's like, okay, we've already wired this car, we've already plumbed this car. Like a lot of these questions have already been answered. So it gives us a little more confidence going forward and getting this thing put back together. So like I said, we've been doing booth load after booth load. Connor pulled this stuff out of the booth this afternoon, a whole bunch more Cerakoted parts. We've got the trunk lid hung up because he did the bottom side of the hood and the trunk lid, which are a matte finish. So we hung those up and got all that shot. And this is all the cool billet stuff that Derek machined for it. This is like an exhaust hanger. Got a little logo snuck in there. More exhaust stuff. This is dash. This is like air conditioning controls, a couple vents, power steering reservoir, more dash stuff and vents and all these trick little, like a defrost vent, really wild, multiple pieces. That center bar slides in and gets welded on the back, and it's all machine stuff Tavis designed. So pretty cool to see all this stuff finished. And then on the other bench, it's just been more and more loads of parts. I mean, a lot of this stuff's obviously already been picked off the table and put on the car, but we've got the whole exhaust system. It's all been, we sent this out to have it Cerakoted and baked on, just to make it a little bit more durable. And yeah, more and more parts all the time. Working on armrest, window tracks, just all this little stuff that has to be done and has to be done right. It all, has to come together. Like this little window track of all the goofy things has got this little kick at the end that has to fit on the quarter panel. And then this seal has got to bump into the other seal. And they don't make these because we had to use a different one because we got one piece door glass. So now it doesn't match anything stock. So we got to make our own. We got to make them all. And it's like all the stuff that it takes to bring these cars together. So thanks for watching the video today. If you like it, like it. If you have a question about this car, ask it. And I hope you enjoy our videos and come back for more. Call it a wrap.